Dolittle stars Robert Downey Jr. as the classic doctor who can talk to animals. Yeah, pretty much every generation I think has had one Dr. Dolittle. I know Eddie Murphy is my Dr. Dolittle, but whatever. It's about a guy who can talk to animals. But why was Dr. Dolittle chosen to be rebooted for this specific time and place? I'd say money, but I don't think they're going to make a whole lot of it. Robert Downey Jr. stars as Dr. Dolittle, a man surrounded by a shit ton of zoo animals, and he can talk to them, and he is super depressed, because in the beginning we see this animated portion. This whole movie should have been animated. I don't know what they were thinking. But we see that he has lost his wife, so he is super depressed. He can't do much but talk to the animals. And so, a young kid who accidentally shoots a squirrel, who becomes a main character, this movie is playing by no rules at all. He comes to Dr. Dolittle and he's like, help this squirrel that I totally shot a minute ago. And then also some chick from like the Queen shows up and she's like, hey listen, you're Dr. Dolittle. You're the only person who can save the Queen, who is sick and bedridden and played by Jessie Buckley. And she has like 2 lines in the movie. That is an actual cinematic crime. So Dr. Dolittle, he needs to go on an adventure to get the thing, to save the Queen, to save his soul, and so he takes this kid on this adventure with him. They go sailing across the sea with the animals, because polar bears are just supposed to be not in the Arctic. I think this movie's messaging is extremely all over the place. About as all over the place as my editing is going to be on this video. Why does Dr. Dolittle need to be a depressed middle-aged man who doesn't know what country he's from? Everything about this entire movie just makes no sense to me. Like, this could be such an entertaining and fun ride of a film. What I will say that this does have going for it is that I am a huge adventure movie fan. I love stuff like Indiana Jones and whatnot, so this movie does have some really fun sequences, especially in the beginning. There's like a sequence where the young kid that's traveling with Dr. Dolittle, he needs to like get onto the sailboat, and so he of course has to like go across this bridge and ride a giraffe and like jump to his death. So not only can Dr. Dolittle talk to animals, but so can this kid who is like now traveling the world with him out of nowhere. And when the kid is talking to animals, he like speaks to them in like, you know, barks or caws or roars or whatever. But then when Robert Downey Jr. is talking to animals, he's just like, guys, we gotta get sailing. And it's like, did you just yell that out in 7 different animal languages at once? This movie doesn't even have its own rules to play by. I mean, talk about throwing logic out the window. I am all for, you know, suspending your disbelief and going along with the film. But this doesn't even have its own structure to work with. You know, guys, I try to pretend to be a reviewer. I do. I mostly just want to let you know, what kind of experience is this going to be for you? What are you going to get out of Dolittle? What I can say to you is that watching Dolittle reminded me that tax season is coming up, that I need to do some meal prepping. I should really go to the gym more. I kind of just was thinking about other things. I would not even say if you had like young kids go see this, which honestly I have to realize, I went on a Saturday afternoon, and there weren't even kids. People won't even take their kids to this movie. That's how bad it is. Shit, do you care? I'm gonna spoil stuff. I'm sorry. You don't need to see this movie. But they like hook whales up to their boat to like have the whales take them across the sea. I thought that was cool. I'm like, that's a good way to talk to some whales. But then the end of this movie happens. And I'm definitely gonna say this because I know every other reviewer out there has. There's a dragon that shows up. And essentially, Dolittle and his army of animals perform a colonoscopy on this dragon. I just didn't need to see that, you know? I just didn't need that in my January. One thing I love is that RDJ in this movie in the beginning looks like Fat Thor, and he's all disheveled with like this long beard and stuff. And all of the animals, like all of the rodents, are pretty much like the rodents from Cinderella, and they like get him dressed and like cut his hair and stuff. And I'm just like, look at Robert Downey Jr. becoming a Disney princess. I love that. That's the only thing I love about this movie. I realized I didn't talk enough shit about Robert Downey Jr. because I love him. But I have no idea what movie he thinks he is in because his accent is from at least 3 to 7 different countries and it is never consistent throughout. I don't even know what he's saying half the time. I think he thinks he's Jack Sparrow in this movie and it's like, no, you're just on a boat. This movie is barely more watchable than Cats. The story is really basic and all of the animals, while they are voiced by really talented actors, they're pretty much just shooting off a bunch of like, we're stupid animal jokes or fart jokes and poop jokes and just dumb stuff. I'm gonna give Dolittle a 1.5 out of 5. It's pretty awful. I do like some of the sequences and the action throughout and everything else was just poor execution. What did you guys think of Dolittle if you subjected yourself to it this weekend? Thank you so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. Feel free to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next one.